Thornhill providing color commentary and analysis as we go along, and Jerry Burke is with us again as our statistician and our engineer. The McGregor Bulldogs are the District 16 2A runner-up. They come into tonight's football game with a record of 10 wins and 2 losses. McGregor will be the visitors in tonight's game. The Howe Bulldogs are the District 11 2A champions. The Howe Bulldogs enter tonight's contest with 9 wins and 3 losses and are the home team for tonight's game. The McGregor Bulldogs are led by head coach Grady Williams. He's assisted by Jack Roberson, John Hudson, Darrell Bledsoe, Gene Hicks, Kevin Houchin, Dennis Ludecker, and David Knight. The Howe Bulldogs are under the direction of head coach and athletic director Jim Fryer, assisted by Billy Hill, Vernon Richardson, Steve Simmons, Tracy Beatty, and Tim Smithhart. Tonight's game is made possible through the permission of these 2 fine schools. Mr. Lewis Westbrook is the superintendent of the McGregor schools, and Mr. Pete Simmons is superintendent of the Howe Independent School System. We want to bring you a preview of tonight's game, but first we want to hear from some of the fine folks who are making tonight's broadcast possible. Well, Leon, the strength of this McGregor football team can be summed up in one word: speed. They're an effective team running the football utilizing the veer attack made popular by the University of Houston under coach Bill Yeoman. The attack is triggered by their fine quarterback, Xavier Young, but he's complemented by 2 fine running backs in Dennis Pleasant and Mike Coalfield. They don't throw the ball very often, but when they have to, they can throw it effectively. This offense averaged 23 points per game during the regular season, and they've really picked that up a notch now. They're averaging 45 points during the first 2 games of the playoffs. Defensively, they're just quick. They play the same kind of swarming defense that we've become accustomed to seeing this Howe defensive unit play. They play the run well. They play the pass well. The Howe defensive unit's really going to be put to the test tonight. This McGregor team has only given up an average of 8 points per game during the regular season. During the playoffs, they've only averaged giving up 14 points, so we're really going to have to be ready to play the football game tonight. The Bulldogs from Howe have an explosive offense of their own. They run out of the run and shoot, utilizing 3 to 4 receivers on every play. They have the leading quarterback in the area in Jay Skipworth. He has some very able receivers to throw the ball to in Stephen Hawthorne, David Cannaday, Jerry Covington, and Matt Cavender. These Howe Bulldogs have some effective running backs of their own also. Clint Bray has been the leading rusher all year, but when you concentrate on him, then they have Monty Walker, Brian Pettit, Jerry Covington, and John Norwood to run at you. This Howe offensive unit's been a powerful one all year, averaging 35 points per game during the regular season, averaging 23 points per game in their first 2 playoff games. The defensive unit's been effective. They've averaged only 16 points per game during the regular season, and during the playoffs, they've really gotten tough, averaging only 12 points per game against 2 very fine opponents. So both defensive units will be tested by high productivity offenses tonight. Leon, how do you see this one shaping up?
Well, I think we're going to see a real fine football game. 2 contrasting offenses. One is the veer offense, which is very effective with the speed that McGregor has. And then this run and shoot offense, as most football fans know, that University of Houston has been so successful with. And I think Howe is going to be able to move the ball on them. But I also think that with their speed and their talent that they have, they also will probably move the ball quite well. And I think we're just maybe in for a high-scoring ball game, Jim.
Well, the secret tonight is we watched the films this week of this McGregor team play. Seems to me that we're just going to have to, as defensive unit on the House side of the football, going to have to meet them at the line of scrimmage and never play chase, because they do have speed to burn.
That's very true. They have a lot of speed. One thing I noticed in the films, though, they have quite a few players that go both ways, and anytime you do that, the latter stages of the ball game, these young men, even though they're well conditioned, they have a tendency to get tired, whereas Howe uses more or less a 2-team offense and defense, and that may be an advantage to Howe, Jim. I certainly hope it is, but here in about 20 minutes, we're going to find out just which one is going to prevail in this ball game tonight.
Well, that's true. The offensive unit of the Bulldogs across that line of scrimmage, those 5 interior linemen, they're averaging 201 pounds, and the backs average 180. So size-wise, we have the size advantage definitely on both sides of the football, both at the line of scrimmage and in the backfield. Also, looking at the starting lineups, as we expect them to be, the Bulldogs have an experience advantage on the offensive side, especially. They start 10 seniors, that Bulldogs, that being from Howe, have 10 seniors and only 1 sophomore in that offensive unit, so that ought to be a real plus for them. And having been in the playoffs the last 3 years, they have also the playoff experience.
That's true, Jim, and you know, we have I guess if we have the one advantage tonight, it would be in the size. The overall size of our team is bigger than McGregor. But then again, you turn around and you think about a town, a football community that 21 out of the last 22 years has been in the playoffs. That playoff experience has got to be a factor tonight. But our 3 years in the playoffs just recently, I believe, is going to be a factor to us. And as I stated last week, it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the heart. So we're just going to hope these Howe Bulldogs have the biggest heart tonight.
Well, it won't be long before we'll find out which one of these Bulldogs has the biggest and most ferocious bite. It ought to be an exciting football game. Ought to be a tremendous football game tonight. The weather's ideal. The crowd's excited. The teams are just leaving the field after their warm-ups. So we're looking forward to a great, great football game tonight. And we'll be back in just a moment to bring you the coin toss, bring you the starting lineups, and look at tonight's football game a little more in depth. Offensive lineup that we've seen for the Bulldogs all year long. Starting for the Bulldogs will be Brian Pettit. Brian will be playing the slot back position. He's a 160-pound senior. Starting at the split end position will be Stephen Hawthorne. He's a 190-pound senior, and he happens to be the leading pass receiver in this region. Starting at the other flanker position will be number 45, David Canaday. David is a 160-pound senior. Starting at quarterback is Jay Skipworth. Jay's a 155-pound senior, and again, we've already mentioned he is the leading passer in this region. Jerry Covington will be playing running back tonight. He's a 175-pound senior. And, of course, the one that everyone will be watching running the ball tonight will be Clint Bray playing fullback, 190 pounds, and Clint is a senior. Anchoring the offensive line for the Bulldogs from Howe will be Tony McLean at center. Tony goes 220 pounds. He's a senior. The two guards will be Thomas Troxtel, 190 pounds and a senior, and Scott Nass, a 175-pound senior. The two tackles, the two bookends, will be David Beament, a 210-pound senior, and James Neely, a 210-pound senior. From the standpoint of experience, Leon, from the standpoint of size, the Bulldogs have the advantage, the Howe Bulldogs, that is. We're going to have to watch that all night long. We'll have the advantage on both sides of the line on that offensive and defensive units for the Howe Bulldogs.
You're right. We're going to have trouble with these two names tonight, the Howe Bulldogs and the McGregor Bulldogs, and so I hope our listening audience will bear with us. I'm sure that we're going to have them confused some tonight, but you're right. The playoff experience that both teams have had should be well on either. I don't think either way can say that it would sway the outcome of the game, really. I think we're just in for a real fine football game, and I'm looking forward to watching it and bringing it to the radio audience.
Well, the Bulldogs from McGregor are dressed tonight in white and black with black numbers. The Bulldogs from Howe, being the home team, are wearing their home black with white numerals, and so we'll be looking forward to a good hard-hitting contest. We're going to add to the black and white that's here tonight some black and blue, I'm afraid, before this one's all over with.
Before it's over with, I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of bruised-up players, because I know both sides are ready. They're anxious to get started, and I'm ready for them to get started too, Jim.
Well, me too. I was at the pep rally this afternoon in Howe, Texas, and if school spirit has anything to do, and we know it does, these Bulldogs from Howe are ready to play tonight, and I believe ready to win. Our statistician tonight and last week in the broadcast is Jerry Burke. Jerry, as you look out across this stadium tonight, it's not quite full, but then we couldn't hope to fill this thing up, I don't think, from these two schools being 2A schools. This is a 5A stadium. As you look at the conditions tonight, tell us something about the weather, and then what do you expect in the football game?
Well, Jim, this is almost perfect night for football. There's barely a breeze, and it's nice and crisp. It's not raining, the wind's not blowing, and I expect a real hard-hitting football game here tonight. I think that the key to stopping McGregor tonight is going to lie on big responsibility on our defensive ends and our cornerbacks. McGregor likes to run the ball to the outside, and they are fast. And if we can stop that run to the outside and contain them and keep them to the inside, I feel like the Howe defense can stop McGregor. On the
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
On the offensive side of the ball, I feel like we're going to have to control Mike Caulfield, number 44, McGregor's middle linebacker, and their defensive ends. Their defensive ends are fast and they can pursue.
Well, we've seen this Howe Bulldog defensive unit all year long. They've played against some awfully good offensive units and have shut all of them down. Coach Fryer tells me that this is the very best offense and defense he's played against all year long, and so this will be indeed a good test. It'll be a strong football game from the beginning to the end, and we're just looking forward to a real great contest. The teams are on the field now, lined up for the national anthem. We'll be back in just a moment to bring you the coin toss and then the first quarter of action.
Doolin,
the captains are approaching the center of the field now for the coin toss. For the Bulldogs from McGregor will be J.J. Williams, Amon Rogers, and let's see, that's number 17, Andre Doolin for the Bulldogs from McGregor. For the Bulldogs from Howe will be Thomas Troxtel, Jay Skipworth, and David Canaday. Leon, we look out across the field and look at that flagpole, and the flag is hanging absolutely limp. There is not a breath of air, and so there will be no problem for the kicking game or the passing game, in quite a big contrast to last week at Wichita Falls.
Very much so. A unique, perfect night for football. I don't know what the temperature down on the field is, but it's crisp up here where we are. Beautiful facility, beautiful night, two teams ready to go in the playoffs. And Jim, this is where it all boils down. You know, the longer you stay in, the tougher it gets. And somebody's got to be a winner tonight, and we just hope it's the Bulldogs from Howe, but we're definitely going to have a Bulldog winner anyway.
That's right. Well, we've started off with a Bulldog winner already. The Bulldogs from Howe have won the toss. They've chosen to defer their choice to the second half. The Bulldogs from McGregor will receive the kick. They'll receive at the north end of the stadium. They'll be moving from north to south, from left to right as we view them from the press box. We'll be right back in just a moment with the kickoff of tonight's football game. Preparing to kick off for the Howe Bulldogs will be number 11, Stephen Hawthorne. Back to receive for the McGregor Bulldogs will be Dennis Pleasant, Tommy Miller, and Amon Rogers. Bulldogs in their black home uniforms. Bulldogs from McGregor in white. Hawthorne tells the referee he's ready. Referee says we're all ready, and we're about to have the beginning of tonight's football game. There's the kick going long downfield, taken at about the 3-yard line by Pleasant, coming up the middle of the field. He's swarmed there by that Bulldog defense, brought down at the 22-yard line
Thomas Troxtel
by number 56, Thomas Troxtel, on a good hit, bringing Dennis Pleasant down at the 22-yard line. The Bulldogs from McGregor will begin with the football. First down, 10 yards to go from their own 22-yard line. That was an awfully good coverage on that kick that time, Leon.
Good coverage, Jim, and they're going to start down just outside their own 20-yard line.
Well, they come up in a new formation on us. They come up in a double wing set. Xavier Young calling the signals. Pitch back. Pitch back is to Pleasant. Pleasant takes the ball out to the 34-yard line. Wade Carson on the stop for the Howe Bulldogs. Gain of 12 yards on the play. First down, 10 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs. We're going to have to tighten that up on that outside, Leon. That's exactly what we thought these Bulldogs from McGregor would try to do, is go to the wide side of the field and go around the ends. That's exactly what they did. They're back up now in the pro set. Xavier Young calling the signals. Handoff up the middle. The handoff up the middle is to Pleasant. Pleasant takes the football this time to the 43-yard line. That'll bring up a second down and 6, gain of 4 yards on that play.
Jared
Powell and Troxtel in on that stop. Young again has his team up in a double wing set. There's a man in motion. Pitch back is to Pleasant, but a good defensive tackle by the Bulldogs. Beat him in the backfield and throw him for a big loss. And Leon, that's what we're going to have to do all night long.
They're going to have to do that very thing, Jim. Number 22, Boatman, the defensive end, made a good play at stopping him just about the time he took the pitch. and then that pursuit really comes strong. Very good, hard hitting, very early, and that's what we need to do all night long.
Well, we have a loss rather of 8 yards on the play, brings up a third down and 14 yards to go. Xavier Young brings his team up. Tommy Miller's right. Xavier Young looking for Miller, throws the ball deep downfield, and the pass is incomplete. A good defensive effort down there by Matt Cavender and Wade Carson. That pass was intended that time for J.J. Williams.
Not much excuse, Jim, for missing that ball. Is right in his hands. Very good pass, and they're not known to be a passing team, but they show they can when they have to.
The pass was there. There was just an excellent defensive hit that caused that ball to fall incomplete. Bulldogs from McGregor punt the ball. David Kennedy deep for the Howe Bulldogs. Tommy Miller was the man for the McGregor Bulldogs doing the kicking. Punts the ball down to the 31-yard line and Howe's into the field, where the Howe Bulldogs will have their first possession of the football tonight. First down, 10 yards to go from their own 31-yard line. Well, we'll see how the run and shoot does against this big McGregor defense.
Well, first thing, Jim, they're going to have to get these butterflies out, and hopefully this first series will do it, and then they can settle down and really get after it.
Well, Skipworth has them out. They're in the run and shoot. Kennedy right, Hawthorne left. Monty Walker in motion. Handoff is up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball for about 4 yards. Looks like from the spot of the ball, they're only going to give him 3 yards. Second down and 7 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs, with the ball now at just inside their own 35-yard line.
Freddie Hutchison, number 82, made the tackle, Jim, on the defense for McGregor, and we'll probably call this young man's name a lot tonight, too.
He looked good on those films. Well, Skipworth has his team out. They're set again in the pro set, or rather in the run and shoot. Pettit in motion. Skipworth rolling out to his left, looking downfield, throwing the ball deep downfield, intended for Stephen Hawthorne. The ball falls incomplete. Defense was provided at that time by Amon Rogers, but Amon really didn't come into play. The pass was just underthrown.
It was overthrown on the short man, Jim, and it just wasn't quite long enough to get to Stephen Hawthorne, that is, on that play.
Well, we'll have a third down now, 6 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs. The ball still spotted at the 34-yard line. Skipworth brings his team out of the huddle, sets them up in that run and shoot. David Kennedy right, Stephen Hawthorne left. Matt Cavender now in the slot right. Skipworth hands the ball off to number 44. That's Clint Bray. Bray takes the ball up the middle. Going to have a gain of about 2 yards on the play. That'll bring up a fourth down. 4 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs.
Number 70, Donald West, on the defensive play that time for McGregor, put a real good hit on Bray right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Skipworth back to do the punting for the Bulldogs from Howe. Andre Doolin is deep for the Bulldogs from McGregor. Skipworth gets his punt off. It's a good punt. Goes downfield, takes a McGregor Bulldog bounce. Is down by Thomas Troxtel at the McGregor 36-yard line. The Bulldogs from McGregor will take possession now for the second time tonight. First down, 10 yards to go from their own 36-yard line. Well, not much of anything eventful happening in that first exchange. The Bulldogs from McGregor did pick up one first down. The Bulldogs from Howe were unable to move the football. So we'll start it all over again. McGregor out. Xavier Young over the football in the pro set. Calling his signals. Appears to be calling an audible. Back, running the veer. He keeps the ball going over the left side. He's free. He's in the clear. He's running and run down from behind at the 35-yard line of the Howe Bulldogs.
Jerry Covington, Jim, made a fine tackle to run that man down. Lots of speed out there that time around the end, and this is a play that I personally saw on the film that I was afraid that they would hurt us with.
Well,
that veer down the line, faking to the dive back, and then keeping and going on down, and he's got a pitch man. If he can't find daylight, he's got someone else to pitch it out to, and I was afraid of it.
Well, McGregor gains 30 yards on that play. Dennis Pleasant acted as a good decoy. Xavier Young brings his team out of the huddle, sets them up in the double wing set this time. There's a man in motion. Little mix-up on the handoff. And a good defensive play to stop that gain that time for only a 2-yard gain. Tommy Miller was the ball carrier on a little inside reverse. but they had a little mix-up in the backfield. Otherwise, that one was open, might have gone for a little more.
Just a little bit of a mix-up, a little confusion in the backfield. Kevin Gray made the tackle for the Howe Bulldogs that time. He stayed at home and stopped him.
Well, Young has his ball club out and has them set, calling the signals. Hands off to Dennis Pleasant. Pleasant is met right at the line of scrimmage by Blair Nelson and Kevin Gray. He falls forward for about a 2-yard gain. We're going to have a third down now. Third down and 6 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs. Well, a better defensive effort that time. The Veer offense again that time, instead of faking the ball to Pleasant, he did give it to him that time, and the Bulldogs did a better job of defense.
Better defensive series that time.
Young has his ball club out. Pitch back to Pleasant. Around the right side. Run out of bounds by Wade Carson, and I take that back. That was not Pleasant that time. That was Amon Rogers. Amon Rogers was run out of bounds by Wade Carson at the Howe Bulldog 33-yard line. 2-yard gain. That will bring up a fourth down now and 4 yards to go for the Bulldogs from McGregor.
Important down here, Jim. Fourth and about 3 or 4, and they're going to go for it.
Well, McGregor comes up in their pro set. Xavier Young under center, calls the play, hands off into the line of scrimmage to Dennis Pleasant. Pleasant is met there by Blair Nelson and stopped in his tracks by Nelson and Troxtel. And what a great defensive series now that was to come back from that big 30-yard gain to stop them and take possession of the football at the 32-yard line. The Howe Bulldogs 1st and 10.
Boy, we needed that, and that was a fine tackle that Blair Nelson hit the running back that time. He lowered that shoulder, and he put him to the ground in a hurry.
Jay Skipworth brings his ball club out and sets him up in the run and shoot. We have Kennedy right. We have Skipworth back to pass, pitches the ball to number 30. That's Jerry Covington is the ball carrier. Gains about 2 yards on the play. A little swing pass to the right. 2nd down and 8 yards to go now for the Bulldogs from Howe. Leon, that play's going to be there all night long. We're going to have to take advantage of that and stretch that gain out from 2 to about 3 or 4 yards a pop.
It's wide open that time, Jim, but somebody missed a block out there on the cornerback.
Skipworth has him out. Kennedy right, Hawthorne left. Skipworth rolling to his right, throws the ball downfield intended for Kennedy. The ball is incomplete, almost intercepted out there.
Almost intercepted, very, very close. Number 40 for David Jenkins for McGregor was there, and I believe that pass was intended for number 16, Matt Cavender, but it was just a little bit short.
Well, we'll have a third down now and 8 yards to go for the Bulldogs from Howe. Once again, out in the run and shoot offense with Kennedy right, Hawthorne left. Twin slot backs on the right side. Skipworth back, quick pass inside to Hawthorne. Hawthorne breaks a tackle and moves to the 44-yard line, and that's going to be enough for the first down. First down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs from their own 44-yard line. Excellent pass and run after the catch. Excellent work after he breaks that tackle to go for the extra yardage.
Did a good job running the ball after he caught it, Jim, and number 25, of course, I don't believe we got anybody that can catch a pass and get out in the open and outrun these people, but we'll take them 5-10 yards at a time.
That we will. Hawthorne is left, Kennedy right. Skipworth straight back to pass, throws the ball down over the middle, intending the ball for David Kennedy, but overthrows him, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
He was put under some pretty good pressure that time, Jay was, and he got rid of it a little sooner than he would have liked to because his receiver, David Kennedy, was wide open, Jim, right down the middle.
He was that. He was running free and clear right down the middle. Pass was just overthrown. But again, as you said, that defensive pressure coming up the middle had a whole lot to do with that. Well, Skipworth brings them out, sets them up in the pro run and shoot with Kennedy right, Hawthorne left. Skipworth rolling right, pitching back to Clint Bray. Clint Bray breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and goes for a nice gain. A gain of about 8 yards on the play.
Dennis Pleasant put the hit on him over there on the sideline, Jim, but he picked up nice yardage on that play, and I believe that Howe's already shown that they can move the ball against this defense, and it sure would be nice if they take it right on down the field and score. That might change the complexion of the ball game real quick.
That it would, as it would put the pressure back on this McGregor football team. Well, 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Skipworth has them out in the run and shoot. Pettit in motion. Handoff up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray is going to be close for the first down. Depends upon the spot, and it appears to me that the head linesman is going to spot him about a yard short from our vantage point, Leon.
That's what it looks like on the defensive play that time. Number 82 for Freddie Hutcherson made the stop, but he's about a yard short. So what do you do here, Jim? It's early in the ball game. You're a yard short, fourth down on your own 49.
Well, Coach Fryer says let's punt the ball. He sends Skipworth back into punt formation. The snap is back. The kick is up. It's a good kick. Taking a good Howe bounce.
Get him. All right.
Good defensive play down there as the McGregor ball carrier tried to pick that ball up and run with it. That's number 17, Andre Doolin, who picked the ball up on the roll and tried to run with it, but he was met there by Scott Nass, and Scott Nass said this is far enough and brought him down. The Bulldogs from McGregor will have the football. First down and 10 yards to go at their own 10-yard line. We have them in the hole, Leon. Let's keep them there this time and see if we can't score off of their offense and score by our defense.
Let's keep them there. I was afraid old Scott was going to slow down too quick on that punt, Jim. Let the man pick that ball up and run with it.
Xavier Young has his ball club out. They're in the pro set, calling his signals. Takes the ball on the veer. He fakes the ball to Pleasant. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. He's free. He's running at the 40 and tackled there by Kennedy. David Kennedy making a saving tackle at the 41-yard line, a gain of 31 yards. Leon, we did not need that one.
We didn't need that one, but that's that veer offense, and it's a powerful offense when you got the speed that McGregor's got. So we're going to have to buckle down a little tighter.
Well, Young showed a lot of strength there in addition to his speed as he broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage to go for that extra yardage. He has his ball club out once again. There's the snap. Rolling out to his left, throwing deep downfield to J.J. Williams. Williams makes the catch, takes it into the end zone, but there is a flag on the play, and I believe it's illegal procedure on McGregor.
It is, Jim.
It's illegal procedure on McGregor. We'll bring that one back, wipe the 6 points off the board, and we'll set it up now. First down, first down and 15 yards to go. We'll take the ball back to the 36-yard line in McGregor's end of the field. And what a break that is for the Bulldogs from Howe.
What a break, what a break. The right offensive end got out of there just a little bit too quick. McGregor has surprised me. This quarterback can throw the ball much better than what we saw in the film the other night, Jim, and I'm surprised. But with that speed out there, I don't know that I wouldn't be throwing the ball all the time, but they got the speed to burn.
Well, he had that pass right on the nose, right on target, but that illegal procedure penalty will wipe out the touchdown. Here we go again. Xavier Young bringing his team out, setting him up in the pro set. Handoff is to Amon Rogers. Rogers breaks the tackle in the backfield, moves forward for about a 3-yard gain.
Number 56, Thomas Troxell on the Howe Bulldog for the defensive play there, made the tackle. He was the first man to him, and then two more got in there. I believe Kevin Gray was one of them, and Blair Nelson another one.
Second down now, 12 yards, 13 yards to go. Young is back to pass, passing out incomplete. The pass was intended for Amon Rogers out here in the right flat. Just overthrew him, Leon. He was there.
He was there. The play was wide open, and David Kennedy had the coverage there, but he was a little late getting there. And he caught that ball. He would have been off to the races.
Well, Kennedy and Bolton were both out there in the flat, but neither one of them were there quite quick enough, about a step late. And as you said, that would have been a race if the pass had been completed. Well, here we go again. Young brings his ball club out. Back to pass, looking to his left, throwing down the middle of the field. The pass is completed down there. Pass is caught by number 19. That's Greg Colvin.
17, Jim.
17. That's Andre Doolin. Those black numbers are not quite as easy to read up here as we thought they might be. Andre Doolin catching that pass from Young. Takes the ball down to the Howe Bulldog 40-yard line for a first down. First down, 10 yards to go from the 40-yard line in Howe's end of the field. That pass is open.
It was open, and I'm surprised to see Thomas Troxell, middle linebacker, all the way down, back down the field to make that tackle.
Well, Young calls the signals, hands off to Pleasant up the middle. Pleasant breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, takes it on forward, brought down by John Norwood. But he's awfully close to another first down. In fact, where they've spotted the ball, it is a first down. First and 10 yards to go, just inside Howe's 30-yard line.
That 30-yard gain on down when we had them inside their own 10-yard line kind of took a little wind out of these Howe Bulldogs, and they're going to have to buckle down now.
Well, we're certainly going to have to buckle down the defense, tighten it up a little bit. Young has his team out and set. Handoff is up the middle. That's Amon Rogers carrying the football. Carries the ball for about 6 yards. 6-yard gain for the Bulldogs from McGregor. Second down and 4 yards to go.
John Norwood, number 32, making the defensive play for Howe that time. This number 25 is a strong running back, Jim. He got good leg power, and he just don't want to go down once he gets started.
Well, our linebackers are being tested. Young has the snap, fakes into the line to Pleasant, carries the ball himself over the right side, carries the ball down to the 12-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs from the Howe Bulldog 12-yard line.
John Norwood coming all the way across field from right defensive end to make that tackle. And there again, it's the same play that we talked about earlier, that dive play, faking to the dive man and going on down the line, find the opening, and he's real good at it.
This Veer offense is giving the Howe Bulldog defense fits, it appears, at the first quarter. The snap is back. The handoff is to Pleasant up the middle. Pleasant goes for about a 3-yard gain down to the 9-yard line.
Jared Powell and number 56, Thomas Troxtel, in on the defensive play.
Well, Leon, right now this smaller and less experienced McGregor offensive line is handling this larger, more experienced defensive front of the Howe Bulldogs. Young has his team out and set. Hands off or fakes the handoff into the line of scrimmage to Amon Rogers, carrying the ball to his left, going around the left end. Carries the ball and run out of bounds down there at about the line of scrimmage.
About the 8-yard line, Jim, where he ran out of bounds. Looks like he might have gained about a foot or two.
We will call it the 8-yard line. Give him officially a gain of 1 on the play. That'll bring up a third down and 6 yards to go for the Bulldogs from McGregor. Young brings his team out of the huddle, sets them up, spreads them out wide right, rolling to his right, throwing the ball inside. Pass is complete to 25. That's Amon Rogers, number 25 on that pass reception, taking it into the end zone for the touchdown for the Bulldogs from McGregor. And so with 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter, we have a score now of McGregor 6, Howe 0, and the try for extra point is to come.
Very impressive drive that time, Jim. They took the ball some 99 yards and put it in the end zone.
Mike Caulfield to attempt the extra point for the Bulldogs from McGregor. His kick is up. There's a flag on the play. The kick is no good. We'll hold it here and see what the flag is all about. The signal is offsides against Howe. They'll get another shot at this one, Leon, and we don't need to give them 2 shots.
We didn't need that. That 1 point could be being the ball game, and anytime you give them a second shot at it, you know, that's they have the option. They can either try and kick it again or they can run it in for the 2 points. So instead of being just down 6-0, it could be 8-0.
Well, we do have a timeout signal on the play. Timeout on the field, McGregor Bulldogs, and so we'll take the timeout with them. Take you back to the studios for a word from the folks that make all of this possible for you tonight. Back to play. The McGregor Bulldogs have decided to go for 2. Xavier Young brings his team up in their pro set, takes the snap, keeps the ball, goes over the right side. He's stopped there on a good defensive play by Thomas Troxtel. And Scott Nass, it's Kevin Gray.
Kevin Gray. It's a good defensive play for Kevin and Thomas that time, and we still got a 6-0 ball game, and we just got to take it and move it this time, Jim.
Well, we'll take another timeout, go back to the studios, and we'll be right back with the McGregor Bulldog kickoff. Go back to play. Tommy Miller will be doing the kicking for the McGregor Bulldogs. Jerry Covington, David Canaday, and Brian Pettit deep for the Howe Bulldogs. Jerry Covington is in the middle. Miller prepares now, tells the referee he's ready to play. The referee is looking around, checking with his other officials. Now we're ready to play. Miller approaches the football. There's the kick. The kick goes right down the center of the field. It's deep, taken by Pettit. Pettit receives the ball at the 15-yard line, takes it back to the 22-yard line, and there's that man we've called all night long, Freddie Hutchinson. He was down there awfully quick to bring Brian Pettit down after only a 7-yard return on that kickoff.
Somebody's going to have to get after Mr. Hutchinson on these kickoffs, Jim, because that young man, even in the films the other night, it's the first man down the field every kickoff, and he'll be there waiting on you when you catch that football.
Well, the officials have spotted the ball at the 21-yard line. Jay Skipworth brings his Howe team out, sets them up in the run and shoot. We have Hawthorne left and Kennedy right, double slot backs. Pitch back is to Monty Walker. Walker looking downfield to pass the ball. Swarmed under in the backfield by that McGregor defense. A loss of about 4 yards on the play. Bring up a second down and 14 yards to go. Leon, a little razzle-dazzle that went absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere. They looked like they had that one smelled out all the way, Jim, and I don't know about that play selection that deep in your own end of the field, starting that razzle-dazzle that quick, Jim. 6 points and a whole quarter to go yet. Let's play the basics.
Well, the ball at the 17-yard line. Second down. Skipworth has his team out over the ball, rolling back, hands the ball off to Bray right up the middle. There's a big hole there for him. Bray takes the ball out to the 31-yard line, and that'll be enough for a Howe Bulldog first down.
Number 19 for the McGregor Bulldogs, Greg Colvin made that tackle, and not until Mr. Bray picked up good yardage, and that is a first down, more than enough for a first down, it looks like from here.
Well, the officials say it is a first down. I thought at first they were going to measure that one, Leon, but they do now signal first down. First and 10 Howe Bulldogs from their own 31-yard line. 15-yard gain on the play that time by Clint Bray. That play looks like it's going to be open if we'll just run that one all night long.
Well, it was that time, and hopefully we come back to it shortly.
Well, Skipworth has them out in the run and shoot. Hands the ball up the middle to Bray. Bray breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, takes the ball forward for about a 2-yard gain.
Number 51, Charles Brown, first man to get to him, and then that pursuit helped him out. But on our films the other night, we watched this number 51, Charles Brown. He played real well on the films that we watched, so I imagine we'll be calling his name. He and Mr. Hutchinson are all over that field.
Well, that they are. Well, that's the end of the first quarter of play. With the score, McGregor Bulldogs 6, Howe Bulldogs 0. We'll take this time out, and we'll be right back with all of the second quarter action. To play, Skipworth has his team out over the football, rolling out to his left, looking downfield, throws the ball down the middle. The ball is called by Kennedy. Kennedy breaks the tackle, moves the ball forward to the 44-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs from their own 44-yard line.
Jim, that was Jerry Covington, number 30, receiving that pass, and did a good job catching it. He was wide open right down the middle, and that's what we need. We need about 5 more plays like that, and we're going to be on the scoreboard.
A good first down effort, good first down play for the Howe Bulldogs. Skipworth has his team out, has Hawthorne left, Kennedy right, calling his signals, rolling out now to his left, looking downfield, throwing the ball. The ball is complete to the short man over there on that side of the field.
That was Jerry Covington again.
That's Jerry Covington.
He was covered real well by number 10, I believe, for McGregor. Wade Cook put the hit on him, and he picked up about 4 yards on that play, Jim.
Well, that's a second down. Second down and 6 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs. We'll take those 4-yarders all night if they'll give them to us.
We'll take anything we
Norwood
can
and
get.
Pettit coming into the football game for the Howe Bulldogs now. Bulldogs coming out of the huddle. Kennedy is right. Hawthorne is left. Skipworth hands the ball off up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray is met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. No gain on that play. That'll be third down. Third down and 6 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs.
Charles Brown again, number 51 for McGregor, making the stop on him just about the time he got the ball.
Well, once again, we come out of the huddle. Come out into the run and shoot. Hawthorne is to the left side. Kennedy to the right side. Skipworth calling his signals, rolling out to the right, throwing downfield, intended for David Kennedy. Kennedy makes the catch, an excellent catch at the 42-yard line in the McGregor Bulldogs into the field for a first down. That was an excellent jumping reception.
Good play, Jim, and he did a good job twisting his body, getting off his feet, and catching the ball, and he had good coverage on him. Tommy Miller was right there with him, but he still did an excellent job to catch the football.
Well, the Howe Bulldog offensive machine now is rolling, and that's a good sign after that slow start. Skipworth brings his team out, sets them up into the run and shoot. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right, double slot backs to the left. Man in motion is Jerry Covington. Skipworth back, looking back, throwing to Covington. Covington makes the reception, breaks 2 tackles, breaking it up the middle, and he goes down to the 34-yard line. 34-yard line in McGregor's into the field for a pickup of about 8 yards. Second down, 2 yards to go. What a good run after the reception on Covington's part. He turned a 2-yard gain into an 8-yard gain.
This Jerry Covington, pound for pound, is probably as tough a little running back as you'll find anywhere. And he has a determination that all football players need to have, and he did an excellent job running the ball that time.
Once again, the Bulldogs are out of the huddle, setting up into that run and shoot. Hawthorne is left, Kennedy right. Handoff is up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball right down the middle of the field over that big center, Tony McLean. We'll have to see where they're going to spot this one. It appears they're going to give him about a 1-yard gain.
Tommy Miller on the defensive play for McGregor that time, and he made the stop on him. We still haven't run the counter play, Jim, that they have in their playbook with Clint Bray, and I believe that play is going to be wide open at some point in this ball game.
Well, another critical third down for the Howe Bulldogs. Third down, 1 yard to go now. Skipworth brings his team out and sets them up. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right, double slot backs to the left. Skipworth calling his signals, hands the ball off up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball down to the 30-yard line, and that's going to be enough for another first down for the Howe Bulldogs. First down, 10 yards to go on just a determined effort by Clint Bray that time.
Very good job running the ball, and he's going to be a tired young man before it's all over with, but he's been the workhorse all season for the Howe Bulldogs, and he's going to stay right in there and fight with the best of them.
Skipworth brings his team out, sets them up in the double slot back, calling his signals with Walker in motion. Skipworth rolling out to his left, looking downfield, throwing the ball down, intended for Hawthorne. The ball is overthrown. Hawthorne was wide open on that play.
He was open for a few minutes, Jim, but he had a man in front and in back of him, and I think it was smart on Jay's part just to go ahead and get the ball out of bounds. It looked like Steve slowed up a little bit and kind of broke his route off. Had he kept on going, he may have been.
Skipworth back, hands the ball off. Bray fumbles the football, but gets back on top of it. A loss on the play of about 5 yards. That'll bring up a third down and 15 yards to go, and how fortunate we were to get back on top of that football, Leon.
Very fortunate. Number 44, Mike Caulfield, and number 75, Chad Ripley for McGregor were right there, and we were real lucky to recover that one.
Well, it looked like Clint Bray just never got his hands around that football good that time. He fumbled the ball before it was hit. Well, we have a third down and 15 yards to go. Skipworth has his team out and over the football, rolling out to his right, looking downfield, throwing the ball downfield. Ball is caught. Good catch down there.
Kennedy.
That's David Kennedy on the reception. Takes the ball down to the 22-yard line. That's going to be just a bit short of the first down, though, I believe, and bring up a fourth down for the Bulldogs from Howe. The officials are looking across the field at the stakes a long way across. He says that one's too close for me to call from here. Bring them on over, and let's take a look because this one's too important.
Jim, from here, it looks like he may be just about 6 inches, 8 inches short. Of course, we're way up high, and it's hard to tell, but I believe he's a little short. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have to make a good effort here to pick up first down.
I believe you're right. I believe we are going to be just about a half a yard short. That's what they are signaling, just about 6 inches. 6 inches needed for that first down. A very critical fourth down play already in this football game. With 7:25 remaining to be played in the first half, it'll be a fourth down and eyelashes to go for the Howe Bulldogs. And we'll see what Coach Fryer has in his playbook that might catch this McGregor team off guard to pick up that 6 inches.
See, better than I thought I could, Jim. Hit that one pretty well. it's a long way up here, and this, again, this is a beautiful facility, and I'm enjoying this vantage point from up here in high above this stadium, and we're seeing a good football game.
Well, Coach Fryer has sent that play in. Skipworth brings his team out and sets them up in the stacked full house backfield. Now they break into the run and shoot. Monty Walker in motion to his left. Skipworth backhands the ball up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball down to the 28-yard or 18-yard line, and that will be enough for the first down.
That is the job getting done by number 44, Clint Bray. He's done it all season. And Jim, for some reason, I've just got in my mind that somewhere in the first quarter, he took a lick on the thigh, and he's hurting just a little bit.
Well, drive alive play that time. Keeps the drive alive on that play. Skipworth brings his team out and sets them up. A quick snap, quick pass out to David Kennedy. Kennedy takes the football down to the 16-yard line. They tried to catch that McGregor defense snapping a little bit that time because they didn't shift, and just before they would have normally shifted, Skipworth called for the snap and that quick pass out to Kennedy.
He was open, and it picked up about 3 or 4 yards, and like we said earlier, if we can take those ever down, we'll be in that end zone before you know it.
Well, we'll give him a 4-yard gain. Second down and 6 yards to go. Run and shoot offense at work again. Skipworth down over the football. Rolling out to his left, looking downfield, throwing the ball into the corner for Hawthorne. Hawthorne is back there. There's a flag on the play. I thought he had caught that ball, but the officials are signaling no catch. But I believe we're going to have a pass interference as he was being shoved and pushed and jostled all the way down into that end zone.
He had two defensive men with him in the end zone, but one of them, number 25, I believe, Aaron Rodgers, was just a little bit too aggressive in his defensive play, and I believe it's going to be a pass interference call on him.
Well, the officials are talking it over. The signal is pass interference against the defense. So we'll bring that one back and we'll do it again. We're going to step off a 10-yard penalty against McGregor. The ball will...
At the distance.
Ball is placed down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, that's a break for the Howe Bulldogs. We're going to have that ball first and goal, Jim, from about the 2 or about the 3-yard line, or just inside the 3-yard line. That was a half a distance to the goal.
Well, first down, goal to goal for the Howe Bulldogs up in their full house backfield. Skipworth calling the signals. Back and hands the ball off to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball over the left side, untouched into the end zone for the touchdown.
6 points for Clint Bray. There's not a soul touched him that time. I don't know what happened there, but there was good blocking on that left side of that offensive line for the Bulldogs, and he went in untouched. And here we come back to that crucial extra point try. And it'll all hint, Mike, the ball game could hinge right here on this 1-point conversion.
That it could. Stephen Hawthorne will be attempting this critical extra point for the Howe Bulldogs. The snap is back. The kick is up. The kick is good, and that brings the score to Howe Bulldogs 7. McGregor Bulldogs 6 with 6 minutes, 27 seconds remain to be played in the first half of tonight's football game. We'll be back in just a moment with the kickoff, but first, a word from these fine sponsors. Down not only brought the football team to life, as you can see, a lot more spirit down there on the sideline, but it also brought this home crowd to life, and they're making a lot of noise.
Yeah, and they're not the only one. You probably heard me hooping and hollering up here, and I get excited watching these games, and I can't control myself sometimes. But that left offensive line for Howe did a good job down there on the goal line. They really blew their men out, and I was just amazed he got in the end zone as easy as he did.
Well, he did go in there. They were just annihilated on that left side, right defensive side, left offensive side of the Howe Bulldogs.
And we're going to try and give you that left offensive side, those players, those guys opening those holes over there as soon as we get a chance here later in the ball game.
Hawthorne back to do the kicking, approaches the football, kicks the ball down the field.
Hit the ground.
McGregor Bulldogs come up and field the football. Brings the ball out to the 34-yard line. That number's all wrinkled up on the jersey. Leon, I can't quite get a hold. That was Amon Rogers, number 25, bringing that football back for the McGregor Bulldogs. And they will have the football first and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
Number 30, Jerry Covington for the Howe Bulldogs, and 56, Thomas Troxel down to make the defensive play.
Xavier Young brings the McGregor team out of the huddle. They set up in their pro set. Hands the ball off to Pleasant, right up the middle of the offense, right up the middle of the defense, carries the ball out to the 41-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 7 yards. Second down and 3 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs.
Jared Powell for 55 for the Howe Bulldogs did a good job making the tackle, and if he hadn't made the tackle that time, the running back was off to the races.
Well, once again, the Bulldogs from McGregor up over the football. Xavier Young calling his signals. Hands the ball off. No, he fakes the ball to Amon Rogers. Carries the ball, pitches the ball out. And a good defensive effort to save the touchdown down there by David Canaday. The pitch man down there for the McGregor Bulldogs was Andre Doolin, I believe, was the pitch man that time. It looked to me like that ball was pitched forward, Leon.
It was awful close. I was sitting, it was right down, right below us, and it looked very, very close to being a forward lateral to me.
Well, the ball is spotted now at the 21-yard line, and the Howe Bulldogs into the field. First down, 10 yards to go. Young has the snap, hands the ball up the middle. Ball carrier's met right at the line of scrimmage and held for no gain. That's Dennis Pleasant on the carry. They're going to spot the ball at the 20, give him about 1 yard on the play. Second down now, 9 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs.
Blair Nelson and John Norwood in on the defensive play for Howe. Did a good job hitting him and almost right at the line of scrimmage.
Xavier Young has his team out of the huddle. Calls his signals. Back, fakes the ball to Young that time, or to Pleasant that time, and keeps the ball himself and is met rudely at the line of scrimmage. Moves forward for about 2 yards for a third down now and 7 yards to go. Takes the ball to the 18-yard line.
Thomas Troxell out there and got him high, Jim, and kept him from breaking loose and turning that speed on. And about time he got a hold of him, here come Blair Nelson and David Kennedy to help him out. Good defensive play, and big down coming up.
Big down indeed. Third down and 7 yards to go. The McGregor Bulldogs are out and over the football. Xavier Young calling the signals. Takes the snap, rolls back, looking downfield, throws the ball down the middle. The ball is caught. Ball is caught down there for the touchdown. The receiver, Andre Doolin, and a great catch because he had to bat it up in the air, wait for it to come down, and then catch it and take it on in from about the 3-yard line.
Very good job of maintaining his concentration that time. Like you say, he hit the ball with one hand. It went up in the air about 2 feet. Turned, found the ball, finally ended up catching it and walking right on into the end zone. Good job on number 17, Andre Doolin. A very good job of concentrating and catching the football.
Jerry Covington was a very disappointed Howe Bulldog down there. He thought he should have broken that pass up. Well, here we go. Try for 2 points for the McGregor Bulldogs. Young has his team out. He's over the football. Pitch back to Pleasant. Pleasant taking the ball over the left side, and no go as Jared Powell is there along with 2 or 3 other of the Howe Bulldogs to run him out of bounds. The extra point attempt is no good. We have a 12-7 score now. McGregor Bulldogs 12, Howe Bulldogs 7. 4 minutes, 18 seconds remain to be played in the first half. We'll be right back with McGregor's kickoff after these words. Folks were not intimidated by that touchdown a bit. They brought that football right back down the field in short order in just over 2 minutes on the clock to score the go-ahead touchdown.
That's very true, and so far what has hurt the Howe Bulldogs is lack of effort to stop the big play. They've hurt us 3 or 4 times on big yardage plays, 30 and 40 yards a pop, and that's what hurt. They haven't hurt us on these little short passes or the short running game. It's running that veer and getting outside on us, and as Jerry said at the start of the game, we got to buckle down out on those ends and stop them outside.
Well, Andre Doolin approaching the football. Here's the kick. The kick is a short kick bouncing down the middle of the field. Hits the short man, Clint Bray, bounces over him. Is taken back there by Brian Pettit. Pettit brings the ball back up to the 25-yard line and Howe's into the field where it'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs from their own 25. Well, let's see if this Howe Bulldog offense can crank it up one more time and come down and visit the McGregor end zone before the halftime.
That's what we need to do, Jim, and just keep it moving it down, run this clock out, and maybe go in at the halftime a 14-12 ball game or a 13-12 ball game sure would be nice.
Well, Skipworth has his team out. Hawthorne is left. Kennedy is right. Covington in motion to the left. Skipworth straight back to pass. Throws the ball down the middle of the field. Ball is caught by David Kennedy. Kennedy is spun down at the 42-yard line, where it'll be a first down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs from their own 42-yard line. Leon, there was a McGregor Bulldog there that had 6 points in his eyes as he went for the interception rather than the defensive play.
Very true. And, you know, it almost ended up 6 for Howe. If old David could have just broke that one tackle, he'd been off to the races.
Skipworth has his team out, sets them up in the run and shoot. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right, double slot backs to the left. Skipworth calling his play, rolling out to his left, looking downfield, still rolling out to his left, now throws the ball. Ball was fumbled on the play.
Jay Skipworth comes up limping, Jim, and we sure don't need that. And that he fumbled it just before he got to the sideline and fumbled it out of bounds, which is very lucky for us at this point.
Ball is spotted at the 38-yard line, a big loss, 4 yards on the play. Second down and 14 yards to go. Bulldogs are out of the huddle. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right. Double wing backs this time. Hawthorne straight back, hands the ball, no, fakes the ball to Clint Bray, pitches the ball back to Stephen Hawthorne. Hawthorne breaks the tackle at the 45 and takes the ball out of bounds at the 47-yard line in McGregor's end of the field, and that's awfully close for another Howe Bulldog first down. An excellent play that time.
Very good play, and I thought in all probability they saw that from the films from last week, Jim, and but evidently they didn't, because they were either caught unexpectedly, and Stephen did a good job running the football. I just wished he had about 3 or 4 seconds faster in the 40-yard dash.
Well, indeed, that was a first down. First down, 10 yards to go from the 47-yard line in McGregor's end of the field. Skipworth has his team out and set in that double wing run and shoot. Rolling out to his left, looking downfield, throwing the ball intended for Hawthorne. Hawthorne catches the football. The ball is taken out of bounds at the 30-yard line in McGregor's end of the field. That'll bring up another first down. First and 10, Howe Bulldogs from the McGregor 30-yard line.
Very good pass, very good catch, and he was covered like a blanket by Tommy Miller. I don't know how he ended up catching the football, but he did a good job and caught it and got out of bounds, stopped the clock, and they're on the move right now, Jim. We just hope they can keep it up.
Well, that's that pass pattern, pass combination we've seen all season long. Skipworth to Hawthorne moving to the sideline, and has been effective for them all year, and it was effective again that time. Skipworth has his team out, Hawthorne to the left, Kennedy to the right, double wing backs. Monty Walker in motion to the left. Skipworth rolling that way, looking downfield, pressure coming up the middle, and Skipworth is sacked back at the 40-yard line on a good defensive effort. No one blocked that man coming up the middle, and down Skipworth goes for a big loss on the play.
Guess who, Jim? Number 51, Charles Brown, the young man we spoke of before the ball game. We thought that he and number 82, Hutchison, would be a dominating factor in this McGregor defense, and so far they've proved to be just that.
Well, Skipworth loses 9 yards on that play. Second down now, 19 yards to go. He brings his team out of the huddle, sets them up in the run and shoot. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right, double slot backs to the right, takes the snap, rolls back, rolling out to his right, throwing back to his left. Pass is complete to Jerry Covington. Covington takes the ball out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That gets back almost all that was lost on the sack. It'll still be third down and 12, but that's a whole lot better than second down and 19.
That's right, and number 10 for McGregor run him out of bounds. That would be Wade Cook. Did a good job of running him out of bounds after he caught the ball, but like I said, this Jerry Covington runs awfully hard for a man no bigger than he is when after he catches the football.
Well, third and 12, third down, 12 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs. Jay Skipworth brings his team out and sets them up. We have Hawthorne to the left, Kennedy to the right, double slot backs to the left. Skipworth rolling out to his right, throwing downfield, intended for Kennedy. Pass is intercepted down there at the 20-yard line. That's number 7, Tommy Miller, intercepting that pass. The pass was just underthrown, Leon.
Just underthrown, about 2 or 3 yards short. David was wide open. Jay had pressure from up the middle on the defense, and again, I think he just turned loose of it a little quicker than he wanted to, but it was short. He was open for just a short period of time there.
Well, we need to play nearly mistake-free football to beat this McGregor team. They're out over the football. Young calling the signals. Hands the ball up the middle. No, keeps the ball. Goes out on the right side. Pitches the ball out. Good defensive effort down there by number 30, Jerry Covington, to stop Dennis Pleasant. And once again, Leon, that looks awfully much like a forward pitch.
We have a flag, and that is exactly what it was, Jim. That was a forward lateral by about 2.5 yards, and referee standing right on top of the play, and he threw his flag the minute the man pitched the ball.
That is exactly what we have. We have an illegal forward pass signaled against the McGregor Bulldogs. Sure wish they'd have caught that earlier one, because that one also was forward.
It was awfully close, and from up here, it looked like it was a forward lateral.
We have an illegal forward pass signaled against the McGregor Bulldogs. The penalty is now being stepped off. It is a 5-yard penalty. That'll take the ball back inside the 30-yard line, inside the 25-yard line. It's also a loss of down.
Looks like it's going to be about second down and about 6 yards, Jim.
Second down, 6 yards to go. Ball at the 24-yard line. Young brings his ball club out, sets them up, calls the signals. Looking downfield to pass. Pass is incomplete. Leon, he threw that ball right between two wide open receivers and just dropped it right between them.
I'm sure glad he didn't throw it 20 yards further downfield and a little bit more outside, because he had number 10, I believe, running wide open. No, it's number 17, Andre Doolin, and he is supposedly the fastest man on the team, and he was running wide open and no one within 5 yards of him.
We have a third down now, 3rd and 6 for the McGregor Bulldogs. Xavier Young has his team out, calls the signals. Reverse, and a good defensive play to take him for a big loss back at the 18-yard line. Good defensive effort back out there by Blair Nelson, big number 74 back in the backfield to bring that ball carrier down for a big loss, bring up a 4th down, 12 yards to go.
We needed that. Fine defensive play by Blair Nelson. He just got a hold of him and wouldn't turn loose. And a little play that we hadn't seen him run yet this quarter.
Well, we have punt formation. Andre Doolin kicks the ball down the middle of the field. It's a good kick. Kennedy watches it bounce, gets away from it, takes a McGregor bounce. Now it bounces back the other way, and finally is killed over there on the 35-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs at their own 35-yard line. We'll be back in just a moment with more of the second half, or rather more of the second quarter, the remaining portion of the first half. 1 minute, 18 seconds to play, but first a word from these fine sponsors.
This is 50.
Jay Skipworth brings his team out of the huddle, sets them up in the run and shoot. Hawthorne to the left, Kennedy to the right. Skipworth back to pass, looking downfield, looking for Hawthorne, deep downfield. Hawthorne makes a fine catch down there at the 29-yard line in McGregor's end of the field. First down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs at their own 29, and again, one of those circus catches as two men were hanging all over him that time, Leon.
Wade Cook and Amon Roger had him covered like a blanket, Jim, and how he caught the football, I'll never know, but he's got good concentration, good hands, as he's had all year long. Good job for Stephen Hawthorne.
Skipworth brings his team up to the line of scrimmage, sends Covington in motion, rolling out to his left, looking downfield, throwing the ball downfield, intended down there for Matt Cavender, and just underthrows him by a step or two. That'll bring up a second down, 2nd and 10, ball still spotted at the 30-yard line.
Jay just couldn't get the strength behind that pass that time, for again number 51 Charles Brown was breathing right down his neck, and he couldn't get all of it into it, and the ball was thrown just a little bit short.
Well, 56 seconds remaining in the first half. 2nd down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs, as Skipworth brings them out of the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. Stephen Hawthorne to the left, David Kennedy to the right, double wing backs. Monty Walker in motion left. Skipworth rolling back, hands the ball to Monty, to Clint Bray. Clint Bray breaks a tackle. He's going to go all the way. He's at the 5. There's the touchdown for the Howe Bulldogs. Excellent run.
All right, very good run. I knew that play was going to go at some point in the ball game, Jim, and I've just been waiting for it. They had it set up on the pass, the long pass to Stephen Hawthorne. They had him double covered over there with two men that time. And when you double cover one, somebody is one man short somewhere.
That's right, and the one man short wasn't watching Clint Bray as he took that ball all the way 30 yards for the touchdown. Here's another critical extra point as Stephen Hawthorne is back to attempt. Snap is down. Kick is up. Kick is good. With 49 seconds remaining in the first half of play, we have a brand new score. Howe Bulldogs 14, McGregor Bulldogs 12. We'll be back with the Howe Bulldog kickoff in just a moment.
Got to hold them and let's go into the halftime ahead, and maybe when it ends up, we'll still be ahead on the scoreboard.
Well, Stephen Hawthorne is preparing to kick off for the Howe Bulldogs, preparing to kick the ball to McGregor. He approaches the football, gets his foot into it. The ball is going right down the middle of the field. It bounces down there. Ball is taken by Dennis Pleasant. Pleasant taking the ball wide to his right. It's hit down there at the 25, spins forward to the 30-yard line. The McGregor Bulldogs will have possession of the football, 1st and 10, from their own 30-yard line. Well, Leon, at this point in the half, with only 40 seconds to play, we've got to watch that Andre Doolin going down the sideline. He is an awfully fast receiver.
He is awfully fast, Jim, and he scares me. Just to be quite honest with you, he scares me. He can run like a deer.
Young has them out, has them set, double wing backs, man in motion, left to right, back to pass, throws the ball short to Doolin, gets a block down there and a hold also. Jerry Covington was being held around the ankles that time, could not get free to make the play, carries the ball forward, Doolin does, to the 41-yard line. That'll be a first down for the McGregor Bulldogs. 1st and 10. We hate to sound partial, but that was so obvious from up here.
It was pretty obvious from up here, and the referee standing there within 3 yards of him and didn't throw his flag. Kind of surprised me. He had him right around the ankle, his left ankle to be exact, and he couldn't even get loose to try and make the tackle.
Well, 1st and 10, 32 seconds remaining. Young down over the ball, takes the ball back, fakes into the line of scrimmage, throws the ball out. Just as he throws the ball, he's hit by Kevin Gray, and Mr. Gray caused that pass to go incomplete.
Kevin Gray is putting in another fine performance up to the...
In the pro set, takes the snap, moves to his right. There's the veer, hands off to Dennis Pleasant. Pleasant takes the ball up the middle. He's spinning. He's hit there now and pitches the ball back to Tommy Miller. Miller takes the ball out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Leon, how in the world did he ever get out of there?
Jim, I don't know how he did. I think somebody just forgot to wrap him up. They had him up high by the jersey, and they didn't wrap those arms up. And as he was spinning, he looked back, and here's Tommy Miller, and he just pitches the ball back, and that was not a lateral. It was a good play, alert play on his part, and he pitched it back to Tommy, and they just run him out of bounds over there. I believe that was Jerry Covington and Matt Cavender that run him out of bounds.
Well, we're going to have the final play of the first half, barring any penalties. We have 2 seconds remaining on the clock. 2 seconds on the clock as Young brings his ball club out of the huddle, brings them to the line of scrimmage, sets them down in that pro set offense, drops back to pass, looking down the middle, looking down deep, throws the ball deep, throws the ball into the end zone. There's no one there but Wade Carson, number 7 for the Howe Bulldogs. He takes the ball. He's running around in the end zone, tries to bring the ball out, but the official says he has stepped over the end line, so that does bring the first half of play to a halt. The score now, Howe Bulldogs 14, McGregor Bulldogs 12. We'll be back with the halftime show and some statistics for you in just a moment, but first a word from the sponsors. Good job down there on the field entertaining the fans, and even the Howe fans are very appreciative of the good job they're doing. While the bands are on the field entertaining the crowd tonight, let's talk about the first half action. What excitement we had in that first half as both teams were able to score twice.
Well, before we start this second half, another group that needs to get credit where credit due, Jim, is our fine band program in Howe, directed by Mr. Elmer Shank. Again, they went to the state marching contest again this year, and as always, they have just completed their halftime program, done another outstanding job, and they too are to be commended. And let's not forget them, because they're a very integral part of this football team and this school system. And as always, they turned in a fine performance.
Well, the teams are coming out on the field now for the second half of action. The crowd on both sides of this stadium are on their feet. I don't think there's one in the house that's not yelling tonight, especially as we begin the second half of action. Tommy Miller prepares to kick the football for the McGregor Bulldogs. We have Brian Pettit David Kennedy and Jerry Covington deep for the Howe Bulldogs. Pettit's in the middle. Covington to the left. Kennedy to the right. Bulldogs will be receiving at the north end of the stadium. The McGregor Bulldogs will be defending the south goal. Tommy Miller now preparing to kick. Has the ball teed up. Tells the referee that he is ready and his teammates are ready for this second half for the regional championship. The referee says we're all ready. Let's play ball. Miller approaches the football. The kick goes down the right side. Jerry Covington comes up, takes the kick at the 10-yard line. Moving now across the field, coming up the field, breaks a tackle at the 15, goes across the 20-yard line, brought down at about the 24-yard line where the Bulldogs from Howe will have the football. First down, 10 yards to go from their own 24-yard line.
Number 82, Freddie Hutchinson, first man down the field, first man to get to Covington and bring him down. He got him a little high, and Jerry's kind of shaking that head around, but he did put the hit on him, and as we said earlier, he's going to be all over the field.
Jay Skipworth brings his Howe Bulldog team out of the huddle. In that run and shoot offense, quick snap, handoff up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball across the 25-yard line, takes the ball up to about the 27-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 2 yards. Second down and 8 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs. Awfully quick snap that time, trying to catch that McGregor team sleeping a little bit.
And did catch them just a little bit. Stafford Douglas and Charles Brown making the defensive play for McGregor.
Howe Bulldogs up to the line of scrimmage once again. We have Hawthorne to the left, Kennedy to the right, double slot backs to the right. Skipworth takes the snap, drops back, hands the ball off on the draw play to Clint Bray. Clint Bray fumbles the football. Looks like the Howe Bulldogs have recovered. See who's getting up off the bottom of that pile. Looks like the big center, Tony McLean, came up with, no, there's another man coming out still. That's Thomas Troxtel coming up off the bottom of the pile there with that fumble recovery. Ball now spotted at the 25-yard line. Bring up a third down, 3rd and 10 for the Howe Bulldogs.
Obvious passing down, Jim, and he's been successful going to Hawthorne all night.
Run and shoot offense. Skipworth calling the signals. Hawthorne left, Kennedy right. Double slot backs to left. Dropping back, looking for Kennedy. Dennis Pleasant providing the defensive work that time to knock the pass down. Kennedy's unable to hold on. That'll bring us to a 4th down. 4th down and 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs with the ball at the 25-yard line, so not a real great start for that offensive unit.
Not at that point. Didn't look too sharp, but that pass was open, and it just wasn't quite strong enough.
Well, Skipworth deep to do the punting. The snap is back. Kick is up. Kick is blocked. Skipworth has to retrieve the ball, tries to retrieve the ball. Bray has the ball running in his end zone, needs to get out of there. Bray is tackled in the end zone, I believe. There's no signal yet from the officials down there, so we're waiting to see. The officials still trying to unstack the players down there. And we have a fumble and a touchdown for the McGregor Bulldogs. A critical mistake by Clint Bray on that one, Leon.
Very critical. I don't know what he was thinking about. Have no idea, but number 82, the one Freddie Hutchinson, made his presence known again. He blocked the punt, and I don't know what happened to Clint. I'm not going to make any excuses for him. He's played a fine ball game. He just didn't realize what was going on, I'm sure, at the time, and realized that he needed to get out of that end zone.
Well, the McGregor Bulldogs are out and looking like they're going for 2 points. Xavier Young has his team in the pro set, drops back, fakes the handoff in the middle of the line, throws the ball over the middle. The ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, falling incomplete. J.J. Williams was the intended receiver that time, but the ball does fall incomplete. The try for point is no good. That brings us to 10 minutes, 18 seconds remaining to be played in this third quarter. Score now, McGregor Bulldogs 18, Howe Bulldogs 14. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. Well, back to play. Back to play we go. Tommy Miller, number 7, once again teeing the ball up for the McGregor Bulldogs. We have the same 3 back for the Howe Bulldogs. Brian Pettit, Jerry Covington, David Kennedy. Leon, we need to bring this one back.
We need to get it back. We need good field position to start this drive out, and we prove we can move the ball.
Miller kicks the ball down the middle of the field. It's going to David Kennedy. Kennedy fields the ball at the 11-yard line, bringing the ball back up the field. Tackled at about the 24-yard line.
I believe that's where we started a while ago. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs at their own 24-yard line, but let's hope that the results are just a little bit different this time, Leon.
We got to move the ball. They proved in the first half that they can move the football, so, you know, the ball game's not over. We got a long way to go, so you can't push the panic button. Just settle down, play the basics, do what you do best, and that's throw the football to Hawthorne and Kennedy and move it right on down the field.
Skipworth brings them out of the huddle, sets them up in that run-and-shoot pro offense. Hawthorne's to the left, David Kennedy to the right, double slot backs to the right. Skipworth back to pass, looking left, looking for Hawthorne. Now he's rushed right up the middle. Dropped for a big loss back to the 17-yard line. That'll bring up a second down. Second and about, looks like about 17 yards to go, Leon.
72, Johnny Miller in on the defensive play for McGregor, put the pressure on Jay, and couldn't find an open receiver to throw the ball to and just had to eat it.
Well, a big loss on that sack. Second down and 17 yards to go. Howe Bulldogs not getting off to a real tremendous start here in the second half. Skipworth has his team out of the huddle and sets them up once again into the run-and-shoot pro set. Double slot backs this time. Monty Walker in motion to the left. Hand off to Clint Bray. Clint Bray coming up the middle. Clint Bray brought down at the 19-yard line on a good defensive effort down there that time.
Fine defensive effort by number 51, Charles Brown. He's another one of those defensive players that we spoke of at the onset of the ball game. He and Freddie Hutcherson, and he made his presence known that time.
Well, we're going to have a third down. Third down, 15 yards to go. Bulldogs need a big play here to keep this drive alive. We need to score before we give this football back to McGregor. Bulldogs are out, back in their run and shoot. Double slot backs right. Skipworth back to pass, rolling out to his right, looking downfield. Looking downfield, throws the ball over the middle. The ball is complete to Stephen Hawthorne, his favorite receiver, but he's going to be, I believe, just a bit short of the first down.
Looks like about a yard short, Jim. We needed another yard effort on that, and he had the first down, but it's going to be fourth down and a long yard.
Well, the ball is at the 33-yard line, just across the 33-yard line. Fourth down. Officially call it 1 yard to go. 4th and 1, Howe Bulldog football. Bulldogs break the huddle. Skipworth does go into deep punt formation. Dennis Pleasant deep for the McGregor Bulldogs. The snap is back. Kick is up. Pleasant receives the ball at the 33-yard line, going to his right. Takes the ball, spins out of the first tackle, takes the ball up to the 38-yard line for a 5-yard return, where the McGregor Bulldogs will have the football. First down, 10 yards to go from their own 38-yard line.
Thomas Troxtel and Tony McLean down on that punt coverage, and I thought he was going to break it loose there for just a minute, Jim. He sure got close to breaking it loose, and if he could ever got to that outside, he can fly.
This Dennis Pleasant is an awfully elusive runner, and when you hit him, he just keeps spinning and just keeps moving. McGregor up over the football in the pro set. Xavier Young calling the signals. Takes the ball, hands the ball off. Amon Rogers on the carry that time. Pickup of about 2 yards. Second down, 8 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs. Ball is at the 40-yard line.
74, Blair Nelson, the first man to get to him, making defense, and then Thomas Troxtel come in to lend a hand.
Well, the McGregor Bulldogs are up over the football once again. Xavier Young calling the signals. Hands the ball off into the line of scrimmage. No, he keeps the ball, takes the ball over the right side. Takes the ball forward to the 49-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. McGregor Bulldogs, 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. There's that veer play again.
Yeah, that's the one I've been scared of all night, and they run it, and they run it well. But on the defensive play, Daniel Williams and Thomas Troxtel and John Norwood made the stop that time.
Well, the McGregor Bulldogs break the huddle, coming to the line of scrimmage at the 49-yard line. Xavier Young sets them up in that pro set. Takes the snap, fakes the ball, drops back to pass, looking downfield. The ball is intercepted down there by David Kennedy. Kennedy brings the ball back to the 37-yard line, where the Howe Bulldogs will have the ball now. First down, 10 yards to go at their own 37.
Pass intended for number 89, J.J. Williams, and David Kennedy just stepped in front. And he had a little running room that time, but John Norwood went over to try and help and blocked and run into him. And But we still got possession of the ball, so we'll see if we can move it now.
Well, 1st and 10, Howe Bulldogs. Ball at the 37-yard line. Skipworth brings them up, sets them up in the run and shoot. Hawthorne to the left, Kennedy to the right, double wing backs. Skipworth back, rolling out to his left, looking down the field, throwing down the left sideline. Pass is intended for Stephen Hawthorne, broken up over there on a good defensive effort by McGregor.
Mike Caulfield, number 44, made the defensive play that time. Nice defensive play. Stephen was wide open. The ball just wasn't thrown quite high enough to get to him.
Well, Caulfield got those big hands up and just slapped the ball away, slapped it out of bounds. That brings up a 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Howe Bulldogs with the football now at the 37-yard line. Skipworth brings his team out of the huddle. Once again in that run and shoot with Hawthorne to the left, Kennedy to the right, double slot backs left. Man in motion is Jerry Covington. Skipworth back to pass, looking for Covington, throws the ball. Covington catches that football at the 39-yard line. He's met there by 3 McGregor Bulldogs, falls forward to the 40-yard line for a short gain. It'll bring up a 3rd down, 3rd and about 7. Good catch that time on Covington's part. Turned it into the middle of the field, and there he turned it into the teeth of that defense and was stopped for only a 3-yard gain.
He didn't much more than catch it, Jim, and there was about 4 of them with him. And number 3, Dennis Pleasant, was the first man to get to him, and I see he limped off the field, but doesn't appear to be anything serious.
Once again, we're to the line of scrimmage. Skipworth is under center. Double slot backs to the left. Back to pass, rolling to his left, looking down the field. Looking downfield, throws the ball over the middle, intended the ball that time for number 45. That's David Kennedy. The ball is just out of his reach. He was there. The ball was just a little bit overthrown.
Skipworth had pressure on him again that time, and he got rid of it a little sooner than he would really like to, and he's coming off kind of slow like. Looks like his left shoulder might be hurt just a little bit. But well, you're true. That's true. David was wide open, and the ball needed to be just a little bit thrown behind him, and he wasn't able to catch it.
We have a timeout down on the field, signaled by the Howe Bulldogs, and so with that timeout, we'll go back to our studios for a word from the sponsors. Well, the Bulldogs are breaking the huddle. Coming out into punt formation is Jay Skipworth. Back to receive the punt for the McGregor Bulldogs is Dennis
Andre Doolin.
Skipworth takes the snap. Punt is away. Punt is going to go out of bounds. The ball is going to be spotted at the 28-yard line. 1st down, 10 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs at their own 28-yard line. That was Andre Doolin back deep that time. Pleasant must have been hurt a little more than we anticipated there.
Maybe so, Jim. I'm not sure. I don't see him, but I don't think he's too seriously injured. I don't see him on the field at this time, but I'm sure, yes, I believe I do, too. He's back in the ball game, so he's all right, and he's up and ready to go.
Well, here come the McGregor Bulldogs to the line of scrimmage. Coming up in their pro set offense, Xavier Young calling signals. Takes the ball, hands the ball off to number 25. That's Amon Rogers. He's met there by a host of Bulldogs. Howe Bulldogs at the 30-yard line. We'll give him 2 yards on the carry. 2nd down, 8 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs from their own 30.
John Norwood, the first man to him, and then here comes Troxtel and David Kennedy to lend some help, and they finally put him down. We had a flag on the play, Jim, and it looks like it's against the Howe Bulldogs, and I don't know what that was for.
I did not see a signal from the referee. We'll look here and see if he gives us one. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's a face mask, 5-yard face mask penalty. It'll still be 1st down. 1st down and 3 yards to go now for the McGregor Bulldogs. Leon, we don't need to help them. They're doing well by themselves. Young has his team over the football, calling the signals. Takes the ball, rolls out to his left, looking downfield. Still has the football, rolling left. Finally run out of bounds over there on a good defensive effort. Run out of bounds by Kevin Gray. But he does pick up, I believe, enough yardage for the 1st down as he's spotted out of bounds at the 39-yard line. And the referee does signal first down. First down, 10 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs from their own 39-yard line. That was an excellent defensive effort on the part of Kevin Gray that time, as he had to come all the way across the field and chase that speedy quarterback down to run him out of bounds.
Very true, Jim, and he's played well so far the whole night, and John Norwood also kind of helped on that play. He didn't get knocked down off of his feet and was able to make him go a little wider than what he intended to.
Well, the McGregor Bulldogs at the line of scrimmage. Here we come on a counter play. That's number 7, Tommy Miller, on the carry. Takes the ball down into Howe territory, down to the 48-yard line, where he's run out of bounds by Matt Cavender. That'll be enough for another McGregor Bulldog first down at the Howe Bulldog 48-yard line. Well, they did have a trick up their sleeves, Leon. There was the counter play that we hadn't seen before, the counter with the flanker coming back.
No, we haven't. That's the first time they've run that play all night, and picked up good yardage on it. I'm sure when we get the ball again, we may see some plays that we haven't shown yet, but this outside speed that McGregor has is hard to stop.
Once again, the McGregor Bulldogs up to the line of scrimmage. Xavier Young rolling to the right, looking for the pitch man. Now keeps the ball, turns it up the field, takes it down to the 42-yard line. That'll be a gain of 5 on the play, gain of 6 on the play.
Another flag on the play,
Another
Jim.
flag's down on the play. We'll wait to see what the referee signals. It is a clip against McGregor. Clipping is the signal against McGregor. That's going to help just a little bit.
That'll help a lot. If that foul is walked off from the point of the foul, it's going to make them have a first and about 25.
It is going to be stepped off from the line of scrimmage. That'll be first down and 25 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs.
That helped, Jim. We needed that. You hate to see back them up on a penalty, but right at this point, we're going to take anything we can get because we've made a couple of crucial mistakes here early in this second half.
Indeed, we did. The McGregor Bulldogs come up to the line of scrimmage. First down, 25 yards to go. Young has the ball, rolls out to his right, looking down the field. Now throws the ball downfield to a wide-open receiver. That's number 89, J.J. Williams, who takes the ball down into Howe's end of the field, fumbles the football, but the official says he was already down at the 45-yard line.
Jerry Covington put a good hit on him after he caught the ball, and he did fumble it, but he was whistle dead before the ball popped out.
Well,
Nice
18 yards on that nice catch by J.J. Williams from Xavier Young. Brings up a second down and 7 yards to go as they got back all that they were penalized on the previous play, plus 3. Well, we step off penalty yardage against the McGregor Bulldogs. But the Howe Bulldog defensive unit has come onto the field, so the interception will stand up. It'll be first down for McGregor. First down at their own 31-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go with 9 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of play. Everything is going McGregor's way in this half, Leon. We just simply have not been able to get a break.
We haven't got any breaks yet, but a good football club makes their own breaks, and we just haven't played good football since the half, Jim. That seemed like the turning point was that easy touchdown we give them, and after that, it's been all downhill.
Xavier Young brings this club out, sends a man in motion. Pitch goes back to that man in motion, coming up the right side of the field, and he's hit there and brought down at the 37-yard line. It's Amon Rogers coming on the end around.
Thomas Troxtel making the defensive play for Howe, made a good open field tackle on them, and these young men from McGregor, with their speed and agility that they have, you hit them once and they spin, and if you hadn't got a good hold on them, they're off to the races again.
Well, second down now and 4 yards to go after that 6-yard gain by Amon Rogers. McGregor Bulldogs out over the football. Has them in a double wing set. Young calls the signals. Man in motion. Handoff back up the middle to Tommy Miller. Miller breaks a tackle, goes all the way down into Howe Bulldog territory to the 38-yard line. Good run that time by Miller.
Fine open field tackle by Wade Carson that time to stop him before he crossed the goal line. Because he was the last man between him and the goal line, and he made a fine tackle.
That's that flanker counter play that we saw the McGregor Bulldogs use so effectively this entire football game. It's effective one more time. Brings up a first down, 10 yards to go for McGregor. The ball spotted and Howe's into the field at the 37-yard line. Bulldogs out over the football, double wing set. Man in motion left to right. Xavier Young calling the signals. Pitch back is to Pleasant. Pleasant reverses his field, goes back to the left. Looking for running room, finds none, hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward, and makes a 6-yard gain out of absolutely nothing, Leon.
Yes, and it looked like we had another holding penalty on that play. We do have a flag over on the far side of the field, but we definitely had a holding penalty on the quarterback. He just held one of those Howe Bulldogs after he pitched that ball back, and they got away with it, though, but I don't know what this other infraction is.
Well, the referee has signaled we have a clip against the McGregor Bulldogs. Clipping is the signal. We'll step off 15 yards against McGregor. That'll bring up first down and 25 yards to go. We've been here before, and on that first play, they gained 18 yards after it was first and 25. But they have been holding. We've seen several holds that just simply have not been called tonight. We're not going to say that that has influenced the score to the point that it is, but definitely this McGregor football team has been holding these Howe defenders all night long.
On several occasions that has happened, and I saw something there that the official went over and talked to the McGregor coach, a little unsportsmanlike conduct. He didn't see who did it, but there's big pieces of ice out on the field where after that call, somebody threw some ice at the referees.
Well, we have the Bulldogs of McGregor up over the football. Double wing set. Draw play to Pleasant. Pleasant takes the ball over the left side. He's running free at the 31-yard line where he's tackled over there by Wade Carson. Carson, again, the only man between Pleasant and that Howe Bulldog end zone. 19-yard gain. Once again, we have them in the hole. First and 25. Give them 19 yards. Makes it now second down and 4 yards to go.
Wade made a fine tackle that time, Jim. Like you say, the only thing between Pleasant and the goal line was Wade, and he did a fine job to tackle him.
Well, once again, the McGregor Bulldogs are up and over the football. Pro set this time. Young hands the ball. No, fakes the ball to Pleasant. Takes the ball around the right side. Around the left side, breaks 2 tackles before he's finally dragged down by Blair Nelson. But not before Young picks up enough yardage for the first down. Takes the ball all the way down to the Howe Bulldog 23-yard line.
Young looks like he might be having some experience with some leg cramps, and he's been on the move all night long. In this cool weather, he may have a little problem with some cramps.
Well, Young comes up and asks the referee for a timeout. We have timeout on the play. Timeout McGregor. We'll take it with them. Go back to the studios for a word from the fine folks making tonight's football game possible for you. If you were to write the story of this football game, you'd have to say Howe Bulldogs made mistakes.
Big mistakes early in the first half. Cost them, and they got a couple of quick touchdowns, and then it seems like from then on they're kind of a letdown, Jim.
First and 10, McGregor Bulldogs. Ball at the Howe Bulldog 23-yard line. Handoff is up the middle. There's a flag down on the play. New running back in the ball game for McGregor, number 12, Dennis Armstrong on the carry that time. We do have a flag, though. We'll have to see what this penalty call is. We have holding. Finally, we get a holding call against McGregor Bulldogs. We also have a new quarterback in the ball game. Wade Cook now playing quarterback for McGregor as the McGregor team begins to empty their bench and let some of their younger players into this football game. Well, we're stepping off 10 yards. First down, 20 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs. We'll have to be watching those numbers awfully carefully now, Leon, as they are indeed emptying the bench over there with a score 38-14 and 6:22 remaining to be played in this football game. Wade Cook brings his McGregor team up to the line of scrimmage, setting them up into the pro set. Takes the snap, hands the ball off up the middle. No, there's that reverse again. There's a new wide receiver taking that ball on the flanker around. That's Cedric McLean. Cedric McLean, a new flanker back into the football game, takes the ball. Takes it for a 5-yard gain. Second down, 15 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs. Howe Bulldogs season apparently is coming to an end tonight. We hate to see that happen, but this McGregor team has played awfully well tonight. Well, Wade Cook brings his team up, takes the ball, goes back, rolling out to his right, looking for a receiver, now rolling again, flag down on the play, finally gets the pass away. Pass is caught. No, the official says he was out of bounds when he caught that football. We'll look for the signal here to see what the penalty is. Thrown in the backfield of the McGregor Bulldogs, and it is clipping against McGregor. Clipping is the call against the McGregor Bulldogs. Thomas Troxel comes up to tell the referee.
Aaron Bird put good defensive pressure on the passer that time and made him throw the ball high. And we had a chance for an interception that time and went up for it, but I believe he had come down out of bounds with it had he intercepted it anyway.
Well, after that penalty is marked off, the ball is at the 43-yard line. Howe's into the field. First down, 10 yards to go, McGregor Bulldogs. Wade Cook gets the play from his coach on the sideline, comes back to the huddle. Now the McGregor team is out of the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage. Into the wing T formation. Cook takes the ball, hands the ball off. No, he's dropping back, looking downfield. Pass is complete. Pass is complete to number 89, J.J. Williams. He carries the ball down to the 21-yard line.
Matt Cavender and David Kennedy finally got a hold of him to bring him down, but picked up nice yardage on the play. This J.J. Williams is a big target and a tall, lanky young man, and he did a good job to catch it and did a good job running with it after he caught it.
That'll bring up a third down, 8 yards to go after the pass and run. This Wade Cook is an accurate passer. That pass was right on target to J.J. Williams. Third down, 8 yards to go, ball at the 21-yard line. McGregor out of its huddle, up to the line of scrimmage. Setting up in the pro set formation. Snap is back. Wade Cook takes the ball, fakes the ball up the middle, then takes the ball himself up the middle. Brought down at the 13-yard line, it looks like from here. That's going to be close for the first down. David Kennedy making the tackle on the play for the Howe Bulldogs. The referee says this one's close enough for a measurement, so he takes a timeout for the measurement.
I believe he's just a little bit short, Jim. At least I hope he is, but from here in our vantage point, it looks like he's about a foot short.
Well, as they take the measurement, they're looking at the sticks now. It's going to be awfully close. Fourth down and less than a yard. Well, Leon, we've just heard a final score from Duncanville in that Pilot Point Lorena game. The winner of tonight's ball game, which apparently at this point is going to be McGregor, will be playing Lorena, who's a 28-8 victor over Pilot Point tonight. Well, just a little bit short. Fourth down. Fourth down, less than a yard. Wade Cook brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Sets them down in the pro set. Takes the snap. Hands the ball off to number 40. Number 40, new running back in the ball game, David Jenkins. Jenkins takes the ball over the right side. Takes the ball for the first down. Ball will be spotted at the 11-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs from the Howe Bulldog 11-yard line with 4 minutes, 49 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter action.
He was hit by 4 Howe Bulldogs, Thomas Troxel, Aaron Bird, David Kennedy, and John Norwood, and he still never did go down off his feet. He was still driving, and they just blew the whistle on him on account of his forward progress.
Once again, the McGregor Bulldogs up to the line of scrimmage. Wade Cook takes the snap, hands the ball off, up the middle, gain of 1 yard, gain to the 10-yard line, second down, 9 yards to go. Again, another new running back. We'll have to see if we can catch his number for you. That's number 12, that's Dennis Armstrong. Gains 1 yard on the play, second down, 9 yards to go.
Aaron Bird for Howe put a good hit on him that time, just as he started to spin off of another hit. Here come Aaron, and really put the shoulder to him. One of the better tackles we've seen him make this second half.
McGregor breaks the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage. Second down, 9 yards to go. Wade Cook under center. Pro set offense, rolling out to his right, keeps the ball dropped for a loss on the play. Dropped for a loss by Kevin Gray and Aaron Bird. Back to the 11-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up third down and 10 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs from the Howe Bulldog 11-yard line. Leon, that's the kind of defense we need to have been playing about 24 minutes ago.
If we could have been playing this kind of defense the whole game or the whole second half, we'd be in much better shape. But, you know, Howe's playing an awful good football team, and McGregor's capitalized on the mistakes that we made, and that's been the difference in this second half.
Wade Cook brings his McGregor team up to the line of scrimmage, fakes the ball into the line of scrimmage, takes it over the left side himself, takes the ball down to about the 5-yard line. That veer offense at its best once again for the McGregor Bulldogs. Takes the ball just inside the 5-yard line, where that will bring up a 3rd down. Make it a 4th down. 4th down and about 4 yards to go for the McGregor Bulldogs. As once again they turn that veer offense up for a big gainer.
Daniel Williams made the stop for Howe that time, made a good tackle on him, and but he still picked up quite a few yards.
Well, the McGregor Bulldogs are going for it, to no surprise. Pitch back from Cook. I believe that ball carrier is Dennis Armstrong. Carries the ball down to the 2-yard line. That's going to be 1 yard short. Bulldogs have good news and bad news. Good news is they stopped the McGregor Bulldogs from making the 1st down. Bad news is they're going to have to start from their own 2-yard line.
Deep in their own territory and a long way to go, and way behind on the scoreboard. And I believe for all practical purposes, McGregor's going to be the winner of this football game. And again, it's been the difference of capitalizing and on mistakes that have been made, and we made more than our share.
Skipworth brings the Howe Bulldogs out, hands the ball off up the middle to Clint Bray. Clint Bray takes the ball to about the 4-yard line.
Jerry Smith on the defensive play for McGregor that time. Clint didn't find much running room when he tried that right side, so maybe we can come up with something this down.
Well, they say there was no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Ball still at the 2-yard line. Howe Bulldogs come out of the huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. Jay Skipworth brings his team out, setting the pro set. Double wing back. Jerry Covington in motion, left to right. There's that counter play to Brian Pettit again. This time they're ready for that. Ball comes loose, but the official says, no, that ball was dead. Bring it back up to the 5-yard line, where we'll have a gain of about 3 yards. 3rd down and 7 yards to go now for these Howe Bulldogs. Ball spotted at the 5-yard line with 1 minute, 25 seconds remaining in this football game.
Donald West and Greg Colvin in on a defensive play for McGregor that time, and we got 3rd down and long yardage and deep in our own territory. Time is just almost gone, so there's not much hope for these Howe Bulldogs coming behind and winning the ball game, but they've played a good ball game.
3rd and 7. Pitch back to Jerry Covington in his own end zone, bringing the ball forward. Tackled at the 2-yard line for a big loss on the play. Makes it 4th down, 10 yards to go, 49 seconds and counting. Howe Bulldogs apparently have resigned themselves to just trying to run out this clock, taking it back to Howe and waiting till next year. 4th and 10. Bulldogs apparently are going to let all the time they can run off the clock before they kick this football. Time now down to 29 seconds, 28 seconds and counting.
Doesn't look like he's going to punt, Jim.
Skipworth brings them up to the line of scrimmage. 4th down, 10 yards to go. Spread offense. Back in his own end zone to throw. Throws the ball deep down the left sideline for Stephen Hawthorne. Good defensive effort there on the part of McGregor Bulldogs. That's number 24. 24 is Casey Wilson. The first time we've seen him in the ball game tonight. Knocks the ball down. Pass falls harmlessly incomplete with 12 seconds remaining to be played. The McGregor Bulldogs will take possession of the football at the Howe Bulldog 2-yard line. 1st down, goal to goal. McGregor on the Howe, make it the 3-yard line. One play remaining, Leon, in this football game. One play remaining in Howe Bulldog football season this year. 12 seconds on the clock. McGregor in their huddle, coming out of the huddle now. We'll be looking to see who the quarterback is, see if it's still Cook. It is still Wade Cook. Brings his team up, sets them up. Looks like they're going to go down to one knee. Drops back, does take one knee. That'll be the final play of the game as the clock now ticks down to 5 seconds, 3 seconds. And that's going to be the football game. Final score, McGregor Bulldogs 38. Howe Bulldogs 14. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap this one up for you. But first, a word from these fine sponsors. Well, Leon, down on that football field right now, there's a bunch of disappointed Howe Bulldogs.
That's very true, and they have a right to be disappointed. They lost. They played a real good first half, but seemed like the second half, for some reason or other, the mistake that we made, they kind of got down after that, and after that big mistake, they just couldn't come back and make anything work for them. I don't know exactly what happened to them, because they played an excellent first half. But the second half, it just wasn't meant to be, and as we said at the start, somebody's got to be a winner, somebody's got a loser. And the Howe Bulldog season comes to an end. It comes to an end for some real fine seniors, and we're proud of each one of these young men. Win, lose, or draw, we'll always be proud of them, and proud of them for the way that they conduct themselves whenever they go anywhere. I don't mind people asking me where I'm from. I tell them I'm a Howe Bulldog because I'm proud of them, and I hope the rest of the community can be as equally as proud of them as I am.
Well, indeed, we are proud of this Howe football team. They've had an outstanding season. They finished the season one game shorter than they'd like to have. I know that. I know Coach Fryer would love to be playing Lorena next week. Unfortunately, that will not be the case, as these McGregor Bulldogs did pull off the victory tonight, 38-14. And they will be traveling to play Lorena next weekend for the quarterfinal championship. This Howe Bulldog team has nothing to hang their heads about. They've played an excellent season. They've had a great year. They have the leading quarterback in this region. They have the leading receiver in this region. They have one of the leading running backs in this region. Unfortunately, tonight in the second half of play, just unable to get on track. From the very first of this second half, the very first of the third quarter, it was apparent that the Bulldogs of Howe just simply had come apart for some reason. We go back to big plays and mistakes, big mistakes, not just mistakes, but killer mistakes, as they're in the beginning of the third quarter, after the third quarter kickoff in their initial series of downs. Clint Bray, after the punt was blocked, after Jay Skipworth's punt was blocked, Clint Bray retrieved the football, took it into the end zone, tried to find a place to go, and was tackled in the end zone, fumbled the football. That gave McGregor a quick 6 points, and from that point on, it was just, as they say, all downhill. The Bulldogs never were able to recover. So mistakes are the name of the game for the Howe Bulldogs in the second half. On the other side of the football, the McGregor Bulldogs were able to capitalize on every mistake the Bulldogs of Howe made. Every mistake led to a score, directly led to a score. And you can't do that against a good football team, Leon. You've got to keep them off. You've got to keep them away from the football at first. But then when they have it, you've got to defend them. You can't give it to them cheaply like we did tonight and hope to win the football game.
No way. And that's exactly what happened. It just seemed like that incident of giving them that freebie, as you will call it, in the end zone down there. And after that, they just couldn't regroup and get it together and move the football like they did the first half. I was very confident that we would come out and play a real good second half, as we have done all year long. Howe Bulldogs have been a second half ball club all year long, but I guess maybe, Jim, we should have went in behind at the half and come back and play second half football as we've done all year long, and we'd been in a little better shape.
Well, we might have been. We talk about being a second half ball club, and we have been that this year, but someone forgot to tell the kids that apparently tonight. They certainly didn't play well in the second half. But we can't take anything away from this McGregor football team. While we played poorly in the second half, they played mistake-free football in the second half. Their only mistakes were penalties. The penalties didn't hurt them. Even though they were big ones, they didn't hurt them. They were able to recover from every mistake that they made. They were able always in those 1st and 25, 1st and 20, 1st and 30-yard situations, second and 30-yard situations. They were always able to pull off the big play and get the big yardage back and set themselves up with 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7. And when they were in that kind of situation all night long, Leon, they were able with that veer offense to just continuously pound it at us and pick up 7, 8 yards almost at will in the second half especially.
Contribute that to 3 fine young running backs that McGregor has. They've got the speed and the talent. They're a very talented ball club in the backfield most especially. But of course that offensive line does a very good job blocking and opening up the holes. But we just couldn't contain them outside. That veer was a play, the veer option was a play that I had really dreaded to see them run tonight because I was afraid that we weren't going to be able to stop that particular play. And when I saw it on the film, I said, oh boy. And they ran it well. This young kid is a very good athlete, and he's got some running backs that he can give the ball to that do an equally fine job. So no, we can't take any credit away from McGregor at all. The ball game just wasn't given to them. They earned everything they got, with the exception of the one touchdown that I feel like that we give them. But they again played a fine ball game. Both clubs played fine. I'm especially proud of the Howe people and the Howe young men. They've been playing good football all year long, and they've got nothing to be ashamed of. But as we said in the beginning, when you get this far, the going gets tough, and they just run up against a good football team tonight and got beat. Let's just give McGregor credit. Now then, McGregor's got their hands full of going back and playing a district rival in Lorena. As we understand, they beat Pilot Point. So that'll be a rematch of a game that they've already played, which McGregor come out on top in. So it'll be interesting to see how they can handle their counterpart or their runner-up in their district in a rematch.
Well, Leon, in that first match between Lorena and McGregor, it was 23-17 Lorena. In fact, that was the only district loss for McGregor this year, and so it'll be interesting. I'm sure revenge is on their minds. I'm sure they're ready to play Lorena. Lorena, a big winner over Pilot Point tonight, 28-8. We've seen that Pilot Point club, and they're not slouchy themselves, and so this McGregor bunch will have their work cut out for them next week as they play Lorena. We'll be back in just a moment. We want to talk a little bit more about tonight's football game, wrap it up with the statistics, and just try to look ahead for what might be in store for these Bulldogs of Howe next year as we look at the returning lettermen, the returning players that will be back. So we'll be back in just a moment, but first a word from these sponsors. Well, we're going to wrap this one up for you now. Talk about the statistics just a moment. We had a very even first half of play. I believe the statistical analysis of the second half is going to show a completely different picture. Jerry, you've been keeping these stats for us tonight. Tell us what happened in this second half of play.
Well, Jim, the statistics are all McGregor. In the second half, McGregor increased their first down total to 17. They rushed for an additional 102 yards for a 264-yard total on the night. They passed 7 of 17 for a total tonight for 128 yards, and they didn't punt at all in the second half. They lost no fumbles, and they were penalized 5 times for 50 yards the second half, with 8 penalties and 76 yards for the game total. Howe gained only 2 first downs this second half. We had 4 yards rushing in the second half with 71 yards total for the night. Skipworth was 14 of 29 on the night for 175 yards. We had 1 punt blocked, and that was converted into a TD for McGregor. And then we punted a total of 5 times for the night. We lost 3 fumbles the second half, and we only had 1 penalty.
Well, Leon, just as we suspected, the mistakes just killed us in the second half. Only 2 first downs, only 4 yards rushing. This is the second week in a row our rushing offense has been well below average, well below the season average. And then to hold Jay Skipworth and this fine core of receivers to 175 yards on the night, just as a tribute to this defensive unit of the McGregor Bulldogs.
Very true. They are quick. They're fast in that defensive secondary, and have some young men that can cover the territory. And like we said at the start of the game or somewhere in the course of the ball game, the only way to beat speed is with speed, and we just didn't have the speed. We got a lot of heart, but we just didn't have the speed to match up with them, and therefore that was, I think, the big difference in the ball game, Jim, is the fact that we just couldn't match their overall speed and quickness.
Well, for sure, we could not match up with them speed for speed. Athletic ability, I believe we can match up. These Howe Bulldogs can match up with anybody, and I believe they showed that tonight, especially in the first half of action. And if you take away, the big word is if. If you take away all of the mistakes, all of the fumbles, those 3 fumbles in the second half were costly. If you take away the blocked punt, This could be a very different football game tonight, but unfortunately you can't take those away. They did happen, and so the Howe Bulldogs will go back to Howe with a 9-4 record for this season. Great group of kids, a great season, a great coaching staff. Unfortunately, their season comes short of their goal of winning the state championship this year. They lose a lot of seniors off this football team. They lose Jay Skipworth, their leading quarterback and excellent passer. They lose Stephen Hawthorne, again, the leading receiver in the region, excellent pass receiver, excellent runner. They lose the other wing back or the other flanker back in David Canaday. He's a senior. This whole offensive unit of the Howe Bulldogs graduates with the exception of Monty Walker, who's only a sophomore. So next year as we come back to play in the 1990 football season, many would say it's going to be a rebuilding year, but the juniors on this football team have gotten a lot of playing time. Juniors on this football team have been winners throughout their career. The junior varsity football team that they played on 2 years ago went undefeated. The junior varsity football team this year went undefeated. There's some good athletes down there. And so the future is not bleak for these Howe Bulldogs, even though we do lose 10 starters off this offensive side of the football. On the defensive side, we lose 6 starters, 6 excellent seniors. And of course, you always hate to lose those, especially kids like Blair Nelson, who's made a significant contribution all year long. You lose other defensive players like Thomas Troxtel, who is perennially the leading tackler on this team. Kevin Gray, who played his heart out at nose guard all year long. And so we just lose a lot of experience on this football team for the Howe Bulldogs. But at the same time, there's some good kids coming up, and we'll look for a great season again next year.
That's right, Jim. And we've got, I think, 5 or 6 starters on this defensive club that have played real well this year that are juniors that will be back. And like you say, they had an undefeated JV team in Howe this year. Some talent coming up there, and I think Coach Fryer will take and mold these young men into another good football team next year, and I'm looking forward to it, and I just believe they'll be winners again. They've got that winning tradition started in Howe. The fans are behind them. They know what it's like to win. Now they know what it's like to lose, and I just can't say enough about Coach Fryer and his coaching staff. I believe they'll mold them into a good team, and we'll see them have equal success again next year.
Well, I believe so. Well, we're going to just take a few parting comments. Jerry Burke, our statistician and technician, any final words, any final thoughts about the 1989 football season and the look ahead?
Well, Jim, we saw this football team come a long ways this year. They really matured a lot, and they've really been successful. The Howe football team has nothing at all to hang their heads about. They lost a battle here tonight, but they've got many a battle in the future that they can win, and we really believe that the Howe Bulldog team will come back and they'll win some more.
Leon, any final comments, any final thoughts on this season from you?
Well, you know, when you, like we said, when you go this far, the tough gets going and the games get tougher. They've had a fine season. I'd like to congratulate Coach Fryer and his staff for the fine job that they did this year. And I'd like to say all to the entire Howe football team, young men, we're proud of you. You did a fine job. You got a district championship. You got a by-district championship patch that you can put on your letter jackets this year. You've got nothing to be ashamed of. You got beat by a good football team. Somebody had to lose, and the better team tonight just happened to win, especially the better team in the second half. And it takes all 4 quarters to win the ball game, and we didn't play 2 of them too well, Jim. So congratulations to the young men of Howe. You've got nothing to be ashamed of. We're proud of you. We're looking forward to you underclassmen coming back next year and giving us an equally good football season, good football program, and one that we can all be proud of.
Well, I want to add my word of congratulations also to this Howe football team and its fine coaching staff, to Mr. Pete Simmons, the superintendent of schools, Donald Gilstrap, the principal of the high school. All of these folks have represented our community well everywhere we've gone this year. And we're proud of these young men, these athletes. We're sorry to see these seniors leave us, but we know that's a part of life as they take another step and move ahead in their own life. We look forward to the excitement of the Howe football program in 1990 with these upcoming sophomores and juniors. We look forward to a successful season as Howe does have that winning tradition. Excellence is the name of the game in Howe. It's the watchword of the Howe Independent School District. There's excellence in every program, not just the football program. And so we've come to expect that, come to look for that, and these young men have always given that to us, and we anticipate that happening again in 1990. Nothing to be ashamed about in this year. Area champions just fell one half short, really, because we won the first half of this football game. And so we have nothing to be ashamed about, nothing to look back, and nothing to regret, except we can be assured that these men gave their very best tonight. Their very best tonight just happened not to be good enough. But we look forward to next season. We look forward to being with you next season, bringing you all the excitement of Howe football during the 1990 football season. So for Jerry Burke, our technician, for Leon Thornhill, and for myself, Jim Coons from beautiful Mesquite Memorial Stadium, we're going to say the final farewell to you for this 1989 football season. Once again, the final score from Mesquite tonight, the McGregor Bulldogs 38, Howe Bulldogs 14. And now, back to the studio.